Get delayed. So, hi everyone, welcome back to BoredIn Live Space. As usual, I just fuck up, don't know how to start, but yeah, very happy to today. We actually have invite a lot of guests, and because there's a couple space going on, so maybe some of the guests it will be late to join, but yeah, just stay chill and stay with us, and if they don't come back, and don't worry. I'm sure they will be coming soon. So yeah, first we want to introduce each guest on the space. I think Jason already introduced many times. So how about we start from John first? John's a new face in the space. So yeah.
Yeah. Introduce myself. Sorry.
Yeah, just a quick introduce yourself.
Okay, awesome. Hey guys, I'm John McTavish. I'm the founder and artist behind the Dinner Party and Dragons on Ape. Just a quick background, I've been in Web3 since the 2021 bull market. I met Pop Hill actually in Clubhouse way back in 2021, and we both started our NFT journey together. So I've been in the space since then, creating art for my own personal art projects, as well as a couple years doing comic book work for the Mutant Cartel. So you may be familiar with my work, and I'm excited to chat about what I got going on today.
Awesome. So yeah, let's pass the mic to Gabby. Or you prefer I call you Sweet Sex?
Yeah, no, it's fine, Gabby. Don't worry. Thanks, Popil, and nice to be here. Some of the people knew already me at the Ape Fest in Lisbon. I'm the co-founder of Extreme, an MBA project that aims to bring the digital world into physical one, connecting digital and physical, and creating a super cool made in Italy collection of leather accessories. And happy to be here to introduce the project and to let everyone know what the next steps are going to be.
Awesome. And Ira in here too. So hi, how are you, Ira? Hello?
Maybe it's
connecting.
So hi, Ira.
What's going on, everyone?
Hey.
Yeah, actually, Ira is the first time go to our live space, right?
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, yeah. I don't know. You should come back often. So yeah, how are you? Like, just please quick introduce yourself and yeah.
How you guys doing? I'm Illa, the producer, community and partnership lead at Yuga Labs. Also, 13 times platinum, Grammy nominated music producer, full-time DJ, trench warrior. You name it, I'm here.
Awesome. So I think since you're in here, I'm start the committee news. Why don't we just start the exciting job you have been doing? Because before our space, I was like sharing the video, how excited what you have been doing and how's that music you just launched in April. So let's discuss that starting.
Oh yeah.
Everyone can hear the music.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love it.
She was a girl from Tokyo. She let her switch, drift. She loves the pearl before she goes. Now roll, twist, hit and don't miss. You let it all go. You put your hands up, it all came down. You got it all wrong, and I'm wrong for standing around. So tell me what you see, 'cause I see 30 million light years. And tell me, could it be that we'll spend our whole life here, right here? I replied to my lady, but didn't text her too long, 'cause conversation gets crazy, and she won't let me move on. But baby, all I really got to say is 5, 4, 4, we ain't done, we just young, life ain't so predictable. Come, leave, go, stay, life keeps turning anyway, life ain't so predictable. 5, 4, 4, we ain't done, we just young, life ain't so predictable. Come, leave, go, stay, life keeps turning anyway, life ain't so predictable. unpredictable. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Such a fun video.
Yeah,
Isn't this your taste, right?
yeah. She was a girl from Tokyo.
Yeah. So, woo. I made that. It's crazy because I made that song with the artist who's actually featured on it. We were on tour in Tokyo actually, and at that time he was signed to DJ Khaled. He had the #7 song in the world, and he has graciously agreed to voice my mutant Sketchy. So I have a bunch of songs with him coming out, and we did this one in 2022, and it was crazy because at that time Rita, he was really known for doing the 3D work on Codas. So my whole idea was to have, my Coda be if you notice they have these suits on. So it was supposed to be they're in Tokyo, but it's like Pulp Fiction, right? It's supposed to be like John Travolta and Samuel L. They have the black suits on and they're like hitmen, but it's my mutant and the Coda. And they're driving through Tokyo. They see this girl getting harassed. They rescue the girl, and the girl falls in love with Sketchy. They drive off into the sunset in the GTR. This is my whole idea. And I pitched it to Rita. He's like, yeah, I can make that happen.
Classic Rita.
I kind of know I can recognize like immediately that's the Rita's word, and the setting was so well, and I love it, and also get into the fight, the called a kung fu fight. Come on,
yeah, yeah, it was. I have a lot of fun, because I come from the entertainment world, and I've been lucky enough to be in some of the biggest meetings when they're storyboarding music videos. And, coming from the Bored API Club, that's the thing that really intrigued me about BAYC is that it was a storytelling and all the narratives that they had and all the lore. So I was like, all right, I was definitely early with this idea of doing a music video with my mutant, because I truly believe like throughout this bull market, we're going to see a lot more people getting a lot more creative with their assets because we have our IP, and the things that Rita are building, like with Dashboard, is going to enable like a full wave of creativity coming with our IP. So it was just a fun thing to work on. Rita is amazing to work with. His team is incredible. And I was really happy with how the video came out. And then, I decided to work with Magic Eden to release it. Unfortunately, I should have did it over the holidays. It would have, in my opinion, because I was in Vegas and a lot of apes are in Vegas and I wasn't able to work it like I wanted to. So I think 146 of them got minted. And I'm actually not mad about that because I planned to do something to give the more that were minting, the more I was going to end up doing a raffle for the whitelist. But I'm glad only 146 minted because people didn't know that this was an actual ticket to a whitelist to mint my next project, which is a brand new IP I've created that I'll be launching on ApeChain.
That's awesome. I mean, there's the face I feel very underestimates MFT. I don't even know there's actually have a full video, be honest. And until I check out, and it's so cool. And actually, I want to mean it, but I remember I go to the Magic Eden page. I'm not able to, I wasn't have a wine list. I'm just so disappointed by the time. But yeah, we're very excited for seeing this project. But I do have like a couple questions about the scene and setting. So also your discussion about the girl and the beautiful Japanese girls, and then them after the Kodas fighting and then finally she's in the car and look at how sweet her face. Who decided these girls? I think that's my question.
Oh, like, this was all Rita.
This is all your type.
This is all Rita. Because I'm an anime lover, right? I love anime. So I was just sending him different screenshots, just different things that inspired him. I think I sent him a bunch of stuff from JJK because JJK, a lot of it was in the last season was set in actual in Shibuya. So it was just great to be able to work with somebody who understood the vision. And then when he sent it back, I was blown away. Like I'm like, holy shit, like he really gets it. So it didn't surprise me that Rita was the winner for the BMW competition, and it doesn't surprise me with the success with G's on 8 because his team is so incredible and pays such attention to detail. So when that work comes across your desk or in your inbox, you're usually really impressed with it.
Yeah, and I love the whole scene setting. So when people deliver the IP, sometimes they really forgot about the storytelling and also forgot to giving the imagine space, like creating the scene for them. And I think the song, what you were presenting is awesome. So, but I do want to ask you the question about how you launching, like the whole experience. Is it quite? Is it your first ApeChain's MLT project? How's your experience to launch the project in ApeChain? And how small is it?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great, and I've been minting. I minted G's on 8. I minted Baron's project. I minted a few other NFTs, and I really love how smooth it is, and like the gas is like non-existent. To me, that's the thing, and that's gonna be that was the one thing as a musician when I'm thinking about when I was trying to onboard artists in 2022. That was the one thing that I knew in the back of my mind because I always go through that user experience, and I'm like, man, on this user journey, there's a big problem. If I'm selling something for $5 to $10 and the gas is $100 or $1,000 or $50, my $5 or $10 music NFT just went to $60, $110, or $1,010, and that doesn't make any sense. So now that we have ApeChain, I'm actually gonna. It's like, okay, now I can actually take my game plan and onboard all of these independent artists, new artists, established artists with catalog. They can come and launch on ApeChain, and it's like frictionless. It's super smooth. And now, the thing is, like, there's NFTs on ApeChain, there's shit coins on ApeChain, there's art on ApeChain, and now there's going to be music on ApeChain. So our chain is really being built to be like the crypto native chain, but it's also like for Web 2, it's really going to show like, okay, there's a ton of culture and fun and excitement on this chain. And that's the thing that most blockchains don't have, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and I'm actually personally also try to drop in project in the different platform because I love to just testing out. I'm actually even planning to launch it in the Magic Eden. Any tips for launching the project or any strategy you have been using?
Yeah, try timing is everything, and so is rollout. Make sure when you're doing your rollout, you're actually like leave no rock unturned. Give people as many touch points as possible to know when the mint is going to be, how to access the mint, walk them through that user journey as much as possible. So really, you have to really work this. I look at it like as from the music side of things, like really work it as a rollout. So I learned a valuable lesson with the sketchy music video. My timing wasn't right. I didn't hit as many touch points as I should have before releasing it. So now you're gonna see with the follow-up project, which is called Jellyheads, which is what the whitelist is for. I'm gonna be working it every single week. I actually have sat down and laid out a rollout plan for myself to make sure that everyone doesn't miss a beat when it comes to the Jellyheads. And that's something that's super important. And I've seen all the successful projects utilize this, to success.
So will the new project also dropping on Magic Edens and how can get whitelist? I think that's my next question.
Yeah, it's gonna be through Magic Eden Launchpad. They're already like, hey, we did the sketchy mint, or the Tokyo mint, so I'm hoping you'll be doing this with us as well. I'm like, yeah, of course, but definitely gonna be on Magic Eden, and with this one, it's a collection, so there's not like a 24-hour window because if I would have left the Tokyo Mint open, a lot of my friends missed it, and they were all on me in Vegas. Like, bro, I didn't even know. Like, I was ready for it. I had the noties on, but life comes at you fast in real life and on Web3. There's so many things happening. So this is going to be a mint that a lot of people are going to be able to access. Hopefully, everyone can access. But I know that I feel like it's going to really go fast, especially when I let the art start to roll out. And then you can, and there's a couple different mechanics to it that's going to make it really special. But I'm sure you'll be able to get access to it. I'm going to do a lot of whitelist competitions and partnerships and collabs with other projects like G's and Monkeys, so on and so forth. So I want all of the communities inside and outside of our ecosystem to have access to it.
Exactly. So it just fun fact. Actually work on OpenSea. I work for OpenSea before. I'm also doing a lot of project with the Launchpad. I think timing and partnership and how much engagement and what kind of strategy you're using is always a great point to sell out your project. Also the pricing as well. And I think everyone now it's a good time to deep dive to learn. And once again, congratulations on your project. And I wish you all the best. Any question from the audience? Jason, do you have any question? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think also something a little different is, and apologize if you talked about, but like the mechanism, because people miss whitelist, you actually in the background, like you can't buy it on secondary, or what is that mechanism though?
No, not much people listing, right? I actually go check today. Only one people listing.
Yeah, no one's listing them. Like,
I thought you locked it.
Yeah,
it was.
I saw it.
At first, Magic Eden, they didn't. They froze it.
Yeah.
Until the mint was over, but then they didn't unfreeze
Got it.
One of the devs, so I had to hit them because people are hitting me about it. Like once they saw the jelly heads, they're like, "Yo, I'm trying to buy it," and there's nothing. Is it soul bound? So I hit them, and then now like people are like, once they saw that it's like this, people are like, "Oh, no, I'm not listing." I'm like, "All right, well."
And so the audience out there, if you bought one and you want to list it, I'm on the market for it. So
I think a lot of people are.
I was on the secondary market for a couple of days, like, why this project not listing? Is a problem?
I thought there was a problem. Like I thought it was done on purpose or something. I thought the one listed was like just like setting a price point for it.
I think you can, when you're using Magic Eden Launchpad, you actually can talk with like Magic Eden, like what you want to do after the sold out or what you want to lock it or not. I think it's really about your personal choice. For example, if you want to use it as a whitelist for the next project, and that's definitely a good strategy plan. Any question from the audience? If not, I will be more on our next guest. No? Okay. And just want to continue to just getting the heat. And today actually have something big news because everybody was very excited on this job, and that fella is having a job official on ApeChain today and tonight. And this is something I'm very excited. And there's actually a lot of artists homie inside this job too. So I'm super excited. So let's welcome Sai. Should I call it? Is it Sai? On our
it's just like is my mic working all right?
yeah, my working.
Right.
Yeah,
it's really good. I think you're like right here in surround sound or something.
Yeah,
yes.
Nice. Well, nice to meet y'all. I just go by Psych. I'm like half the team with Betty. So
I never meet you. I'm actually also one of the holder as well. Have the pad, but very excited on this job. Would you like to like introduce yourself and also like introduce a little bit about the project? I know Betty have a full research, whole article about when this project start and how the relationship and how it's become season 1, season 2, season 3. But I think it's better to hear from you.
Yeah, it's been something that we've been doing from the start. So we launched around August, and then we did our first infected season that Halloween in October. And so from the beginning, we'll always, because we originally launched as an art-focused project, right? So we didn't really have ambitions beyond incubating artists when we first had our roadmap out, you know. So that's basically the origins. We had collaborations with all the artists that I came up with in the space, you know, like getting used to things in the year or so before we launched Dead Fellas. So we had a lot of people that like introduced me to NFTs and things like that in the first drop, and then a few other collections that really had our back in the mint, right? Like Ghosts, like with Gong Yang, and what Cool Cats. Who else was in there? It's like almost 4 years ago now. So we've basically just kept going. So every year we do this same incubator. It's usually around 20, like 15 to 20 artists. And we do a collaboration swap basically. So they do an interpretation of the Dead Fellas brand in their own style. Generally a different medium, but this one's been just like static 2D. We've had previous years like last year where people submit videos and things like that. But yeah, and then I answer with a Dead Fella. So we do like an interpretation of like either like a particular character that is like consistent through their work, or just their style interpreted into a Dead Fellas character. And then we generally like gate that drop of one-of-ones through the art as an incentive to basically sell editions through those artists. And then we give all the profit from the drop split evenly between the artists. So like most of the people that you see, like the bigger names, like when you see Gremplin in the mix, like a lot of the time, like they're helping out the whole crew, because we do have up and coming artists, and we have a few people that are just kind of like goats of the space that come in each year. So, and they just split evenly across the whole board. So it really is like an art first incubation type deal. So it's exciting to launch that through on ApeChain. Like we've been a fan of the Yuga guys, kind of came up in parallel too. So we've always had like links to, you know, what ape holders and mutant ape holders and things like that. So yeah, it's cool. And I think that it's, from what my understanding is, like all of these artists, the 20 of them, it's their first time having anything on Ape. So I think it's a cool onboarding moment.
So it's a 20 artists and also 20 one-on-one. So basically you kind of onboarding that extra 20 artists on ApeChain. So that's just great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So will you like to share with us, like, is it that how you come out, like, I think it's had to like back to a beginning a little bit, how you even having an idea to drop the new seasons 4 to the ApeChain, and it's not Ethereum again, and why choosing ApeChain?
So ApeChain, like I think that it's basically calling back to what like Illa said. I think that like it really comes down to like accessibility. And when you look at like just the infrastructure side, like with the links to base, and then, you know, just L2s in general, like we've always been like ETH maxis to a certain extent, you know, like we've always been, you know, I guess like agnostic in a way with like Bitcoin, and then you've got like Solana and whatnot. Like we don't go in too deep on any one thing, but I think it's just super important to support those that are trying to do shit, especially the ones that came up at the same time as us, so that we can keep all those connections. Because those cultivated communities are super important. I feel the ones that have like been in like NFTs for years and years and years, like there's a kind of like knowledge base and an understanding between a lot of people. So I think that the way that we move, like pretty intentionally with our like drop mechanics and pricing and things like that, it's always nice to kind of like drop those in areas where people can respect and see why those mechanics are in place. And yeah, just generally like hanging out with the homies, really. Like it's nice to just keep some things linked in.
Oh, sorry, I mean my mic. So what is the strategy of this job? So I do see the meme page is out now. So I remember I just took a look about the detail about the pricings and everything. Would you like to share with the audience what is the dropping point, like what's going on?
Yeah, so when this goes live, it is a 3K supply. Each of the 20 artists has 150 editions of the artwork that they've produced, just randomly scattered through the 3K. So anyone can participate. There's no wallet limit, and you just basically grab an edition and you'll get a random artwork. If you're a Deadfellas holder, you send the editions to a wallet that's got Deadfellas in it, and then we snapshot that at the end of this sale around Friday night, and then that means that you'll be registered for the potential drop of the one of ones that correspond to the artist that you've collected on the edition side. We generally do things that way just because we've seen a lot of hurdles around like people connecting their vaults and wanting to delegate and things like that. And it usually ends up more of a headache than it is a positive thing. Most people don't even like delegating, like anything that's too cold in terms of wallet access. So this is a good way for them to basically like spin up a burner, get introduced to Ape at a really like kind of low risk level, just start messing around really, and then they can just send the additions to a cold vault that's got their Deadfellas or whatever else they've got in, and get themselves on the list for the airdrops.
So you do know what kind of the community you're onboarding. Actually, the ApeChain community is almost everything about the delegation, everything about the voting. What's the challenge to basically onboarding the Deadfellas to the ApeChain and BAYC community? What is the challenge part?
Well, we've always had we've got a huge crossover. I can't remember what our demographics have been, but I think it was like maybe like 20% or 30% at one point like owned Deadfellas and Apes at the same time. So the onboarding in terms of like community crossover is pretty easy. Like if someone brings up ApeChain, there's someone with Deadfellas that has interacted, from early days that'll like, bring something up or will like point them somewhere. I think that it's just mostly bridging fees. And like, I think that like a lot of people have been introduced to like certain L2s or, just certain things that have come out like on Ethereum, and you'll go to bridge and it'll be like, oh, it's super low fee is like once you get past the hurdle of like paying $300 to bridge $10 worth of Ethereum. Right. So I think that's kind of like the mindset to try and like kind of get people around, because like it's not actually that much to get yourself bridged over to Ape. So I don't think like there hasn't really been much of a hurdle really. I think that like if people were starting to get hit, especially when you're looking at accessibility, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'll jump over and grab like an $8 edition and it's going to cost me $50 to bridge. But most people have been able to bridge for really not much at all. So it's been great.
Interesting. So I've been following Deadfellas' journey for a while. Seems that also one of the pack holder. But I do realize like I would describe Deadfellas as like one of the early collection where we try so hard for basically cross border to the different kind of project. I remember there's a pixel game, but also having a continued consistency as artist job. There's is where we having a lot of ecosystem building inside the Deadfellas, and I almost feel I hard to track everything. Is there any maybe future develop coming on to the ApeChain as well? Are you consulting maybe like the game or any of the even merch, like want to launch something to drop on ApeChain as well?
Yeah, so we're building up a relationship with like say like the ApeCoin DAO side and things like that. So I think like this is the perfect opportunity for us to kind of like I guess like dip our toe in the water of like ApeChain and see how everything goes. And I think that you just never say never on like additional rollouts, but I think this is a great opportunity. It's also like at a community level, right? Like if people like we have to go in the directions that our collectors feel is best for us. Sometimes you fight them on it, but a lot of the time you need to kind of go with the flow. So I think like this is a good opportunity for people to see how they feel about ApeChain in general, like get them used to it. Then they can see the overall, ecosystem. Like as there's like meme coins, there's all sorts of drops, and there's lots of cool stuff coming, right? Like what Illa was just talking about and what John was talking about. Like yeah, I think that there's plenty of stuff to keep people around and keep people interested. So I think like, yeah, the opportunity's there.
I think will probably agree what I think. So when I work for Acorn DAO, work in the Acorn DAO, I definitely feel there's a gap between Ape and Acorn community, because it's just hard to let. Well, some of the people they probably sticking, so they got Acorn, but the most user they will be hard to understand. Like, oh, there's a utility behind. You can participate to the DAO, or you can be using this as a voting power. There's a lot of ecosystem building or supporting and behind. Era, like, do you feel this is actually the interesting onboard person now? You can more seeing because of ApeChain, the ecosystem are much more faster to onboarding other community.
I would say that like in terms of like onboarding community, like we've learned some hard lessons over the years, you know, and I think that like the general lesson is that like no one like actually gives a fuck about anything except just kind of enjoying themselves and not having any hurdles in their way. Like it's especially like evident when you look at like Web3 gaming, and it's just like everyone's just so used to being spoon fed. And like, yes, you've got like the people that were in 2021 that are like and 2020 that are like they've been used to jumping hurdles their whole life, like in the Web3 scene. So they're like, oh, I need to sign 6 transactions to get over into whatever. That's fine. But like if you look at like the cohort and like the age demographics that are coming through like on Solana and whatever else, like I think that like in general, like the only kind of thing that we see like bringing people over is if nothing gets in their way. Like if it's ends up expensive, if they're like they feel sus signing too many things, like it can even come down to just like the wallet being a bit shitty on their phone. So we kind of just like go the path of least resistance, really. Like that's why our gaming stuff's on the scale side, and then we've got like this drop with ApeChain on the art side. So like it's just basically going the routes where we feel like our collectors can just focus on what's fun for them, really, like the collecting experience and knowing that people are going to be around and still doing stuff. Because I think that that's also another aspect of like I would say like maybe 9 out of 10 companies that we've ever collaborated with, like in the Web3 space, are now bankrupt since 2020. You know, so it's like when you look at like those communities that have got staying power like Yuga, and you look at Ape, like you know that they're going to be around. So like if you're introducing people to something, you know that there's like a future value there, especially when you look at like developer communities and artist communities and things like that. Like nothing's a dead end. I'm probably rambling now, but that's basically like where we see like traction. It's when people see like potential and that it's going to be fun basically instead of a pain.
No, I mean, I think it's a solid point, and you know, applaud you guys for coming over, because I myself, even though being in the ecosystem, felt like ApeCoin, the DAO, and all those components were still really ape centric, as opposed to ApeChain really starting to open up the ecosystem. And I think to your point, like that's probably done because it's made easy, right, to bridge. It's made cheaper in solving that problem there, and kind of reviving kind of NFTs. And you know, I think maybe the question, to spin it a different way, you guys were close to the apes and have crossover, but for maybe some collections that don't, what would be the selling point? Like if we were to go out there to try to get them to come onto ApeChain, what do you think like the top selling points would be for us to open up the community even more on ApeChain?
I think that the selling point of like interaction with basically the entire ecosystem linked to apes is the ape collectors in general. It's like knowing that people kind of know the things that they, what am I trying to say? I would say like just like the networking effect of actually interacting with the existing ecosystem of basically anything Yuga Labs, which is like a very large ecosystem now. And then you include even the accessibility of participation on a coin, right? Like there's no real like entry limit once it's not like locked into an asset like an NFT. But you can have like $5 of ape and technically be like a collector, right? So I think that's a huge thing. And to be honest, like in the markets and how things are going, like you basically just need to go where people are. And I think that, you know, like if you can get in front of people and make it easy to, you know, get your product in front of them, then yeah, that's where the benefit is. I think that, you know, in the years previous, I guess like we're in a slightly different position because like we didn't like hit up Ape for like a huge grant or anything. We were just kind of like, oh cool, like yeah, let's do it on Ape, you know. So I think that like our position is a little bit different. I don't know what the onboarding kind of like process is like with Ape if someone was going to build out like an entire project. So I think that yeah, just like the base level interaction with the Yuga ecosystem is benefit enough when you compare it to other I guess like L2 chains that, you know, like there's no one there that kind of like fucks with stuff beyond protocols, basically.
Yeah,
Interesting.
thank you.
Yeah, Ela, like, do you have like any suggestion for any OG committee if they're trying to onboard, maybe they don't know how to start or they interested in to probably just start education to understand a little bit more ApeChain and what kind of the tips and both you guys can share? Yeah.
I would say just jump in. Like I think that that's the easiest way with anything, and that's a big lesson that we learned. Like I come from tech. Like I ran agencies for a long time, just like in interactive development and shit like that. So like, and I was always like sprint to an MVP, just launch that shit, and then start improving. Kind of like went back in my shell like as we started going through on NFTs because it's like oh shit, it's immutable, like no one wants this changed. Like you'd end up with metadata being wrong and be like, it's rare because the metadata is wrong. And you're like, but like just let me update it. So I think like it's kind of like getting rid of that mentality and letting yourself just kind of like just ship that shit out. And it doesn't need to be like this big moment. Like just release an open edition through your brand on Ape and get people kind of like introduced to like what that process is like, say like bridging over or whatever, and then just like go from there. Like I think that we just need more people just fucking around really, instead of like just sitting on their hands waiting for the perfect moment. I think that like what Illa said in terms of like timing of like when you're talking about something, yes, definitely. But I think that like the quicker and more nimble you move in terms of the product, just testing if there's even product fit, because a lot of the time you just sat in a bubble with people that own a product that it's to their benefit to say that's cool, and then you'll bring it to like a new potential like market or collector base, and they're like, no, like I hate this shit. So I think that like it's just put stuff out there and do it. And you know, I think that's to the same mentality of like what a lot of people like in apes with like Made by Apes. Like a lot of people doing really cool entrepreneurial stuff through there. So yeah, I think it's the perfect kind of testing bed for just trying shit out.
Is anyone having question want to ask Sai more? And I'm actually also have one last question could like to ask, like, is it the new collection, even the one-on-one will be consulting more openly for the IP development? Because it seems like Made by Ape and Project Penguin and a lot of the IP now on this day, like a lot of the Web3 IP brand was crossover Web2 and Web3. Is there any way like that are interesting to probably more open the asset, the IP to let user to use it, or any certain kind of plan?
So we've had that from the beginning. So like 4156, who ended up like launching like nouns with like Gremlin and that, like they were always like a big inspiration for me on like just like the digital identity side of being able to like adopt something as your own identity and then just running with it without someone kind of like sitting on top of you, which is, you know, what a lot of people were doing with punks. And like punks are the reason that I even know, you know, like anything in Solidity and whatnot. And like Last Punk did our a Dead Fellas contract that did like the nouns contract and stuff. So like I got brought up by a lot of people that were like in punks and then in apes and whatnot. So I'm losing my train of thought just because I've got a terrible attention span. But yeah.
And shout out to Bored Ape Gazette. They just I think they wrote up something about spooky season and your drop too. So yeah, check that out. Also, if you're out there and wanting to find out more.
I really love like BAYC community where we just kind of like a family, right? Like there's no competition in here. We always just like try to help each other as possible. It's like, oh shit, he's doing something. I have to do more. And this is actually a great way to just like help each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to shout out Psych actually, if I could. He kind of, I think Dead Friends was a big part of me staying in Web3. I did a derivative contest back in the day in 2021, and won a Dead Friend from there, and that kind of led me into actually doing commission derivatives, which got me introduced to the Mutant Cartel, which got me through the bear. So if I hadn't done that first contest with Dead Friends, I might not be still in Web3 today. So shout out to you guys.
Dude, that's amazing. Did you do Mutant Cartel? I joined a little bit late.
Not their NFT assets, but a lot of their comic book stuff that you saw on Twitter and stuff like that.
Oh, sick!
And featured in Chrome City.
So you will see in later space. I actually have gone to show a lot.
You smashed that. You absolutely smashed that. I was always super impressed with their rollouts. Yeah, really cool. That's cool to hear, dude.
Awesome. Anyone have a question before I move on to the next guest? Oh, that's it. So yeah, let's move on to the next guest. So yeah, the next thing, I know there's a lot happening about the Bored Trading Co. Since we talk about the entrepreneurs and we talk about the business sides and also talk about how we improve with the technology. But I think a lot of things is actually related with the action and how you're going to do, take the idea from just the idea and to deliver to the committee. So I'd like to give some flower to Bored Trading Co. Have been like doing amazing job from even the AIP, even before starting. Jason already having adopted the idea how to put in the products and MBA committee together. But I would like to pass the mic to him to talk about what his Bored Trading Co.'s update, because I know he's working on some things, and that probably will relate to the next guest brand as well, or relate with all the MBA brand. If anyone interested in the cooperation, I think now's the good time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I view Bored Trading Co. not as my project, as something that I'm building to help us all, right? Take this to the next level. And yeah, I mean, right now it's focused around made by apes, but you know, I definitely have started to think about more and more like ApeChain NFTs and people that are now in the ecosystem from ApeChain. How do we pull them in, right? Because we are a AIP funded project, and we want to continue to drive the IP meta in how we can be stronger together, right? So yeah, I think reach out if you have any thoughts, any reflections on ApeChain. Definitely want to start thinking about how do we fold that in. But at the core of it, you know, Bored Trading Co. is really taking the aggregated MBA products and trying to tap into the more traditional Web2 buying cycles and how that works traditionally, right? And that's through B2B, that's through influencers, that's through B2C and curating some of these boxes and things of that nature. But you know, first phase, we put out a survey, had 23 MBAs show interest, and you can kind of see the breakdown right here. You know, you have a large percentage of MBAs within food and beverage, and then you have a couple other categories like apparel. So now, you know, the past 2 weeks, I've been having conversations with people around, hey, what's the wholesale price look like? What's the production lead time, and how does this maybe work to scale? And some of the things like even though we were talking about NFTs and development of kind of your projects, like they hold true of these things as well, right? Like how do we agilely develop this and think about how we launch, right? So working with kind of a collective of MBAs to put together curated boxes, right? Maybe not as economical to ship chocolate, like French chocolate's great chocolate, but then that cost to ship it is a burden and barrier for customers. Just like we were talking about before, like how do we reduce that friction? Well, if I curate a snack box that has French chocolate with JC Snacks peanuts or Bored Munchies or my Bored bagel chips, and then package that in some people saw it, right? Like in Lisbon, we had this fanny pack, right? And there was actually a snack kit, right? And then like becomes much more value for someone to buy this and try all these other MBA products, right? And we can then ship that, wherever, right? So doing that and then getting exposure to B2B, lots to announce, I think, in terms of where we're going with that. But like, we're discussing, like, we're targeting Magic or Project in Las Vegas for one of the largest apparel trade shows, arguably in the world. 130,000 buyers that kind of and vendors attend it. How do we create a capsule and curate a capsule with product and brands and work together to display the products and hopefully get some lead-ins to sales, right? Same thing with food and beverage. Go to the largest trade show while we then make products more accessible online, also direct to consumer. So lots there, but definitely tap in if you want to find out more. And we have some wholesale deals already going, right? So I'm putting French chocolate and ape water into 13 stores in Philadelphia, New Jersey, right? So those are just examples of where we're kind of already starting from the ground up, building some of these B2B distribution channels.
It's interesting you bring up about the consumer, about the wholesale, because I learned a lot when we doing the AFAS, the former market. I feel like that's kind of like the first demo about how MBA in the IRL, like MBA market in the IRL, and face to the consumers and with the products. And I think the way you're doing is basically having everyone's favorite. Like now if in this day, if you look at the MBA brand, there's like more than 600 license. But I also want to say is there's like not enough opportunity, or not enough, like each of us is probably not enough time, or not enough product, or not enough like trend to showing their product or selling to the wholesale. And I think what you're building is basically just filling those spot on the gap, and it's great. I mean, like I think if it's like anyone, if you have like a question, or if you are creating an amazing product but actually don't know how to be the wholesale, Jason's definitely the one of the guy you should definitely reaching out. And before I move to the next guest, is anyone have the question?
I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me. I have to jump to another call. There's always a fire drill inside Yuga, but appreciate everybody having me. I'll
Thank you so
definitely
much.
come back because this is an amazing platform, and I'll see you guys back in Web3.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
Come back, right?
Right,
Bye. Love you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. So, yeah, and let's move to. Seems that we talk about the wholesale and also talk about consumer. I know I I would say it's like an MBA luxury brand. It's also pouring out a lot of great products, and that's a welcome week 6. And also, I I would like to pass the mic to him, like let him to introduce about what he's building on the brand. And I think most of us, if you've been to AFAS, you definitely will be impressed how much detail he's building on all this merch and baggie and purse, and it's amazing. Look at the Koji dash. It's like a 3D Koji dash on the back. Like, come on. Yeah.
Thanks, Papiel, for the intro. Jam guys. I'm Gabriele. I'm from Italy. I'm the founder of a Web3 startup that got born in 2017 called Genuino. We connect digital and physical world.
Hello?
It looks like it froze on his side.
He may frozen.
Yeah.
So let's this part I can help him to talk, because actually I know how to meet him as a person, but I know there's a fashion show doing the BoredIn and Fanny Creator House. Actually, we hosted the Creator House for 4 days, and it's during the AFAS, and that's where I actually starting seeing his baggage and products everywhere. So it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Gabby, we have you back?
Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
You froze for a couple seconds.
I froze just a little bit. So yeah, just let me know, because my connection is not that great. So if I froze, just let me know so I stop.
No problem.
Thanks.
Yeah, will you introduce your product a little bit more?
Yeah, so we started a couple of years ago, and we partner up with high quality leather company based here in Florence, with the objective to bring the digital identity into the physical world. And we had the opportunity to start crafting some product at the beginning of the first ApeFest in New York. And the challenge was pretty high, because of what we aim to is not to create a sort of merch product, but what we are trying to do is to create high quality products that are pretty much reflecting the identity of the community who is actually on board with us. And we decided to start with the Bored Ape community, because I'm a Bored Ape, because I think the Bored Ape have a great value in terms of connecting with culture. And that's the reason why we decided to create this first collection that is pretty much based on 3 different items. One is a backpack, one is a round bag, which actually is pretty much a ledger case holder, and the third one is a pouch. And the other element that we want to highlight a lot is the hyper customization, because as you can see, every single item is totally full customized with a single ape. And this is not that easy on the physical world, and especially when we are talking about luxury product, because obviously the type of techniques that are implied are not just simple techniques, but everything is super custom and brought to life with a lot of work behind. And we thought that was the way to elevate also the brand and elevate the perception of what a digital identity can be in real life. We launched in Lisbon, and the project was pretty much a success. Everyone really loved it. And as a second step, now we want to involve more communities internal to the Bored Ape Club, because a lot of people ask for more level of customization. And if you are listen now and you're part of a community internal of Bored Ape, and please get in touch because we have some great news to share with you all. And just a quick thing, how the process looks like is super smooth. So you just need to connect to extreme.me and simple connecting whatever wallet you want, and you can start your customization process as Nike ID works, for example, and you can customize from scratches your item. At the end of the customization process, token proof verifies the property so that you are actually the owner of the item, and then you can pay right now with crypto and fiat through PayPal, and then you can leave your address, and we are going to ship over the item in a couple of months. And I don't know if you have any question, Popil, or I can show how the customization process looks like, which is super nice. I can share my screen if you like it.
Sure, you can share your screen too. I think my question will be like, is it now all this asset only open to A, or you considering in the future probably want to expand to other community? For example, if I hold CoolCat or if I hold DevFire, will I able in the future to get asset to make some customize? I think in this day, cooperation with different communities is definitely the big hit.
So we have been already contacted by several communities in order to get their PFP on our item. But our choice has been right now to totally focus on Bored Ape and try to elevate and bring as many ape as possible into the project because I think we are in the early step of what we are building, and we want to give a voice to everyone who is inside the Bored Ape community and give them the opportunity to personalize themselves and to express themselves on our product. Then obviously the strategy is going to be to open up to other communities, considering the opportunity also to keep a limited collection for specific communities. So right now, for example, you have seen 3 different items that have been created just for Bored Ape. Maybe tomorrow, when we are launching with a different community, we are going to have other products totally specific for that community. But at the same time, what we are targeting at the moment is also to work on different categories. So the idea is to leverage Made in Italy, and you have seen the product live, and I think the product is amazing, and the level and the quality of the physical item is our unique value proposition. And what we are doing at the moment is try to find also other Made in Italy brands, and we have already collaboration going on and contacts to create other type of product. Can be wearable, can be limited edition item, and can be very different stuff that we have in our pipeline, and we are looking forward to bring more stuff live because we think giving people the opportunity to bring their digital identity into the physical world is what we are aiming for.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. I mean, this is where I think there's a merge between in real life events and where people can actually like touch and feel and experience the product, right? And you know, I think it just doesn't do it justice. I know some reference around like it being 3D and stuff like that, but like the ability to customize at that level with a quality. I mean, like the ape has different layers and there's depth to, so it's not just printed onto something, right? So I think I just want to double tap on that, right? It's like if you actually see in person, like you see the features kind of in 3D type of thing, right?
Yeah. Totally. That's what I was trying to say before. So one of our focus is the hyper customization, and since the hyper customization is our unique value proposition, also the technique that we are using in order to hyper customize the product is totally unique. Just keep in consideration that the procedure of customization that we are doing are so unique that sometimes the type of effort in order to bring back to life is much more on the hyper customization than on the actual bag itself. And the focus obviously is to create this type of hyper customization in order to also give the idea of the fact that the ape within the product is something dynamic. And that's why we created also this 3D aspect on the product. And this has been a result of years of research and development, because as said, we have started to work on this project 2 years ago. And thanks to the partner that is Bianchinardi, which is a leather company that has been in market since 1940, that has been producing bags and high quality accessories for the biggest brands in the world. We are talking about Chanel, we are talking about Tiffany, we are talking about really super high standing brands. We are able to deliver this kind of product, and just keep in consideration also the price point, because obviously we are talking about a bag in this case that costs around 1,800 euro. But if you take the same level of Gucci, for example, which has not that type of leather and that has no customization on it, costs around 5,000, from 3,500 to 5,000. And you guys have seen it live. And for the people who didn't have the opportunity to have this product on their end, this is a really, really high quality, high standing product in terms of product itself and in terms of customization as well.
Not that. Yeah, actually, Gabi, like your screen on my dashboard.
Yeah,
it's
I would like just to give the people who are listening to us the opportunity to check how easy is the platform also.
Sure. I think you share one screen, so I'm actually in the dashboard only see you sharing. Oh, okay, I see it now. Yes.
So can you see the screen? So basically, you can connect whatever wallet you want. You select the item that you want to customize. In this case, I select the backpack.
Don't worry, technology always like that.
No, it's because I have several window open. It's my fault.
Yeah, like it's always happen when you want to do something, right? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you select the collection. I select, for example, mutant ape. I select my mutant, which is 16116, and the apes comes on the item. So then I can select the leather color, the leather color of the item. In this case, I select ananas, for example. Then I go to the second step. I select the bottom part. I can take black or the same color or yellow. In this case, I select yellow tone on tone. Then I move to the internal part. I can choose the color for the internal side where my laptop is going to be stored. In this case, I keep it black. Then I can select the accessories color. So you see these are ruthenium, but I can select, for example, gold, and it goes gold. And then I can add a personalization, for example, my name, choose the color. For example, I choose it aqua, and then Once the customization is done, I mint the token. So I select the background of my digital token. And once I select the digital token, I authenticate with token proof. So I just open token proof from my phone. I scan the QR code. So I'm doing it live. So once the QR code is scanned, token proof accepts that I'm actually the owner of the item. And then once the token proof verification ends, I just fill in the information where I want my product to be shipped. And that's it. I confirm the order, and then I can pay with I confirm the order, and then I can select. I can decide to proceed with the payment with PayPal or crypto as I prefer. This is pretty much the user journey.
That's amazing. It's amazing. I didn't realize the dynamic nature of every detail being able to customize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long? I think my question would be like, how long, if for example, if I customize the bag and pay the order, how long the consumer they will receive the bag?
So just keep in consideration for all the people that bought the first drop during Ape Fest, I think they're going to receive it within Christmas, maybe a little bit later, 7 to 10 days later, due to the holiday season that is quite packed. But just consider this time, because there is a lot of work that is done on the backside in order to create the hyper customization. But once they receive it, I'm pretty sure they will be super happy.
Yeah, I have no doubt. So with the token proof, it's actually a verification on the token itself, or just on the contract?
No, it verifies, token proof verifies that you are the owner of the Bored Ape, because what we wanted to do, we didn't want people to connect the wallet where they own the Bored Ape, so they can connect whatever wallet. But the token proof verifies that if you are writing, you are selecting a certain kind of ape when you do the customization, that you are really the owner of the number of ape that you wrote in.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's insane. Like, before I move to the next guest, anyone have a question or? So
yeah, I got a question. Like on the Bored Ape art side, do you have plans for like doing different things with the I guess like the patterns and things that are associated with the different traits, or I guess like customizations of the base art itself, like different, I guess like poses, or like using like the print of the t-shirt and things like that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just keep in consideration that obviously we started with the idea to bring digital identity into physical product, but obviously in order to create also high level quality in terms of fashion and design, the strategy behind this will be to leverage traits of collection in order to develop patterns also into product that are going to bring a super high value in terms of fashionable items, in order to create also in terms of creativity, unique opportunities that are not going to be only one-on-one and specific link to a PFP, but can create a collection based on a theme. So, for example, I really love the type of work that you are doing with that pellets as well, in order to leverage also the type of creativity. And that's the type of things that we have in mind, because obviously we are pretty much linked to the fashion side of things, and we really think that leveraging attribute can be the next level of the self-expression, and that gives us the opportunity also to create capsule collection that are going to be totally unique. For example, take Gucci's skin, and with the Gucci skin, we can do a certain kind of product or a certain kind of pattern that are pretty much linked to the product. This could be the idea that we have in mind.
Yeah, I think that like we've seen that in particular, like through, well, I think that everyone has seen that, especially through apes and that kind of thing. You end up with these communities where people identify with a trait, and then there's other people that have that same trait, and it's almost like a sleeper version of identifying with a particular like NFT community versus like you actually using the dead fella. Like we've got, you know, particular like hidden traits like 8 balls and daggers and things like that. So I think that'd be really cool. You know, like if you had like a black bag and the inside lining was like the cheetah print or something, you know, for like people that are more low-key.
It's like where we did also something super cool. For example, with Josh Hong Ape, which has, for example, an earring, or he has a sort of metal face. We created a bag where the earring actually was not in 3D, but was a real earring. And the metal face was a real metal in the face. So we combined also materials in order to create hyper customization of the item, leveraging obviously the attributes, but at the same time leveraging also different fabrics and materials, which has been super cool. For example, the hat was in wool, or the jersey was a real carpet, and that was a super level of high customization, because we think next level of fashion anyway is pretty much linked on a hyper customization and one-to-one. That is scarcity, 101, and high quality and the high customization level. That's our vision and our point of view.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Thanks.
Definitely have to keep an eye on. And yeah, let's bring up our final guest. And thank you for everyone stay with us. And let's welcome John. Hi, John.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So first, congratulations. Your job is amazing. And unfortunately, this is actually the video, and I'm not sure why this. Yeah. Only shown half.
Oh, we're missing the best part.
Yeah, I try my best. So I'm also put the drawing you show me. Congratulations on your job. It's amazing. The dragon draws is crazy. It's insane detail.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I haven't been on ApeChain long, but 2 successful drops, and now we're focusing on building for those communities. Yeah,
and would you like to introduce your project and just let the audience know you a little bit more? I know it's a kind of new face for the audience, but you actually always work a lot of project behind the scene.
For sure, yeah. So I'm John McTavish, the artist and founder behind the Dinner Club and Dragons on Ape. I've been in NFTs since 2021. Popil and I met back in Clubhouse days and kind of started, minting editions and personal art projects on OpenSea back in the day on Ethereum. And that kind of transitioned into doing some more projects. And actually back in 2021, I was approached by a couple guys who wanted to launch their own project on Ethereum. And they wanted me to be the artist. So we brainstormed some ideas and we came up with dragons, since dragons and dinosaurs have kind of always been my thing since childhood. And we decided to make this dragon PFP project. And the deal was that they would build the community, they would build the advertising, I would build the traits and the artworks alongside this dev. And we were going to launch, and the dev and I were going to be paid out of the mint. And lo and behold, the guys never built the community, never did the marketing, and luckily rugged before we sold anything. Unfortunately, the dev and I spent 8 months building the project during peak bull market and never made $1. But as I was saying earlier, I got into Dead Friends and Dead Fellas launched, and I did a derivative contest which then led into me doing mutant ape derivatives, and that led me to the mutant cartel. So that comic we were just looking at on the past page was one of the pieces I did for the mutant cartel in Novel Labs. Been with them for the last year and a half, which got me through the bear. And so I had a year and a half contract with them, and as it ended, I started hearing about ApeChain and seeing the hype that was going on ApeChain, and I thought, you know what, this might be the time to bring the Dragons project to life. They've been burning a hole in my pocket for quite a while, and so also during that time, I'd done this experimental art project called The Dinner Party. So I launched that. It was a 200-piece collection. They're all one-of-ones, and it sold out I basically only did kind of DM marketing. There we go. There's some dinner party. So basically just kind of, I had this invitation to this mysterious dinner party, and it just kind of spread through the DMs, and I sold out in, I think, 15 minutes. And so that was kind of like my sign that, yes, ApeChain is something that I can do. And so I kind of rolled the proceeds from that, rehired the original dev that I built the generator with for the Dragons, because we'd done some really interesting things. If you look closely at them, they have hands in the front, they have their dragon head, and then a number of them have either wings or tails. And these are all separate trait layers. So we built the custom set of rules to always match the colors. So the hands always match the heads, always match the tails and the wings. So I brought the original dev back on, and we kind of cleaned up the generator, and we teamed up with Blever to launch it, and we had an amazing launch. I think we sold out in 10 minutes, and now we have the dragon.
I missed that. And I think you have a big holder in here, right?
Yeah, I think I have one of my bigger holders is one of our lovely
Jesus,
co-hosts
it's
today.
flying, right?
Yeah, I can't help myself. I think as I kind of browse, I find traits that I like, and I'll say like they feel like they're almost one of one, right? Like just the number of traits you have. So that's cool. I mean, I just love dragons too, and I love the artwork. So I've every time I browse, I seem to like pick up one or two. So I've full transparency, I have both Dinner Party and this. No, it's great. And the other thing I'd say is like I thought it really refreshing that you had a group chat for Dinner Party, and there was kind of the conversation around, hey, like what should the mechanics be in kind of airdrop or whitelist, and you took that into account from the community of the Dinner Party to then actually pull it into what the mechanics would be for your drop with dragons. So I think that's where love to see kind of like get that feedback loop from the community and kind of driving that to how you're growing the ecosystem on your side.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important because I realized that the people who would jump on essentially my first mint in 2 and a bit years are kind of like the true fans, I guess, the people that are going to support me, right? So I knew if I was going to launch another collection, they were probably going to be the first to be interested in it. So kind of understanding what they were looking for was crucial in determining how we were going to launch dragons.
Yeah, and I would only guess like like Dead Fellas and you, like it to me, like that's where like you're expanding your ecosystem, and I think there's always this challenge of like, no, this isn't a dilution of what exists, and obviously like the Dead Fellas have also found how to do that with their community, right? Because like otherwise, like you see a bunch of FUD. Like for example, I was in Penji's, I still am, right? But like they launched another collection, and then it just spiraled down because everybody felt it was dilution, right?
Yeah.
I
I think that's a tough thing to overcome, especially like if you're a project and you launch and then you want to continue to drive value to your holders, right? So I think that's a problem that a lot of, most NFT projects that have gone the way of the dodo bird, couldn't figure out a solution to do that. And I think, Dead Friends has done a great job. Sorry, Dead Fellas. I always say Dead Friends. I don't know why. Dead Fellas, the Dead Fellas have, because they're bringing in new artists and creating like original artworks. It's a separate way of collecting, right? It's more of an art drop versus another PFP collection, right? So I see it as an expansion versus a dilution.
Yeah.
Of the product.
Yeah,
but
I'll just jump in. Like, we still do get like a little bit of pushback, to be honest. Like, I think that a lot of people just like, I think it's just the behaviors of the markets is people are always kind of like, I would say not even particularly like worried about price of things. I think that like a lot of people come to like really love their place and like the feeling that they get like interacting with the communities that they really love. And I think like a lot of people, like I'm sure like all of us here have probably been through it, like when some projects kind of like take some wrong steps, like they really can just turn toxic and you almost like lose that family. So like, I think a lot of people just almost become protective of, like of the project and the community members and their friends that, they interact with on the daily in a lot of cases. So yeah, I think that like sometimes when people are pushing back about dilution, they're just in some ways just being basically protective over like what it is that they just don't want it touched. Like they're happy, So I think that
Yeah, we've definitely come into that. Like with the dinner party, there's a Twitter chat, and it's quite I'd say pretty close knit group. And we've been getting alpha for each other and getting whitelists and stuff like that for all the holders. So that's definitely developed, and I think the plan now is to, even though it's a much larger collection for Dragons, do that as well for that community. So we've definitely been pushing. Getting whitelist allocations for all the upcoming projects, all that kind of stuff. And we have a little project in the works right now, which we're going to be announcing soon, to basically bring a piece of the dragon to all these other collections. So people will be able to have whatever PFP they want and still kind of be repping the dragon. So we have some stuff like that. And then, as you can kind of see from all that comic book work, I come from a lot of narrative storytelling, right? That's what my strong suit was, and that's what I was doing for the cartel. So that's kind of what we want to do moving forward with the Dragons. But then also, instead of just storytelling being solely for Web3, we want to make it so it's an easily consumable and digestible piece of content for the outside world, right? So anyone can interact with it and will be interested in it because it's a cool story, it's cool artwork, not interested in it just because, it's an NFT project. And I think if we can do that, we can, hopefully have an outside revenue stream that is bear market proof, because it's more of a media entertainment piece than an NFT sales reliant piece. And we avoid dilution with that in mind. So that's kind of the stuff we're cooking in the background right now.
Love it. Sounds like I'm going to have to pick up more dragons.
John should give me one, so I'm lucky that one. Let's go pick up more. So I think that's interesting. Seems you already mentioned about the whole mutant cartels you have been building. I definitely agree. Your background and your storytelling and the character setting. So I'm also an animator too. So I kind of like, when I see those drawing, I immediately like got very understand like what you were trying to do, because you totally building the biggest scene. You're not just setting up the character, you also set up in the background and set up the scene for basically develop more complete about the storytelling. I definitely feel when BAKC the dog come out, I feel there's mixing storyline, and I think even BAYC community feel the same, like, what's the dog going on? Like, what's going on? That's kind of like still the question, like, what's the BAKC going on? But I think Mutant Cartel is a very filling the gap, and I think part of why it's a filling the gap and why very quick to create the community feel belong on it. It's really about the storytelling. You actually competing about the imagination about what we think about the dog should be, and yeah, congrats. And I think the dragon, it's just one of the other things like showing you not just artists, and you do understand the strategy, you do learn a lot from the community, and you do having a supporter be around you. I think you now is the time you shine. Like you're more than succeed than you think.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't cry, babe.
I just want to say,
usually we usually joke a lot back to that day, but I would say like artists is a very hard time. I remember back to the clubhouse, we onboard each other. We basically send us each other's Ethereum to drop a little piece, and we sell in Tixel, like 5 Tixel. Think about 5 Tixel for art. Artists got nothing, but it's definitely the fun journey to learning process, and also understand the environment, what we have been and how we do supply. And now I'm seeing you by yourself to just pull out the biggest project. I thought I would be the first inside the whole OG group. You're the first. I'm getting mad on this.
But I mean, I had the project, waiting. Yeah. It's been locked and loaded for 2 years, so I was able to. And even with a finished artwork collection, it still took me 3 weeks, and I was sleeping 2 hours a night max to get ready. So like, take your time. Trust me, it's better this way.
For yourself, like what Jason said, what Hodder said, like each piece just look like a separate. It's look like one-on-one. Come on, like you push yourself to work. Yeah,
that was definitely my goal, like with the dragons, because I mean, I've always been an artist that gets caught in the details and wants to have the highest level of rendering and the most detail, and the most going on. And so, when I saw these other NFT collections coming out, they were all quite simple, right? And I thought that if I could do something with that high level of detail that I loved, it would really stand out. I mean, it came with a lot of challenges to solve in order to make the pieces feel coherent and cohesive. Like, I thought we were going to have to generate twice as many dragons, and I was going to have to delete half of them because they were just going to be like red, blue, green, purple, like just look like this clown dragon. But when they started coming out, I was like, I asked my dev if he put an AI that was like color matching these things, and he's like, no, just luck of the draw. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. So it turned out really great.
Well, you definitely trust yourself. You do have a very good color palette, and also you understand the community delivers very well. Once again, congratulations for the success. And anyone have any final question before we close up the space?
I just want to compliment the attention to detail, like just from being on the back end, because like it's pretty rare to find people that like run things at a business level, but also like lead the art side. Like. It's a huge labor of love that I don't think that anyone that hasn't been through it quite understands the level of hours that you need to actually assign to be a founder that's also like leading the art charge, because you've got thousands of production hours that don't shift. Like you can't just like do it quicker, you know what I mean? Especially with something like those dragons, like the level of details and incredible. So I just want to say like huge respect, especially just like on the on the side, like with the scale matching and everything like that. Like it's just so clearly a labor of love. So yeah, just huge respect for anyone that even goes down that route, man. So
exactly. So yeah, today actually we went a little bit over time, and but very happy to complete all the space. So don't forget for each other. Thank you so much for joining our space, and also don't miss tonight's drop. So definitely do have their season 4 drop tonight, and just keep the eye on and just grab your first deferral on ApeChain, and that would be great. Thank you so much. And anyone have final thought? Hodder, I know you kind of. Is it you mute your mic, or you just like close your screen?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I just closed the screen. I appreciate you guys all, and just every one of you have continued to inspire me. I think just in different ways, and give me ideas of how to pivot and grow. And I'll be reaching out with some thoughts of things to collab on potentially too. And no, it's just amazing. So appreciate it.
Awesome. And how about Sai? Do you have anything final stuff?
Just head on over to Magic Eden, jump on the Deadfellas page, check out when that drop is live. I guess like if I didn't go through the full mechanics like super clearly, like all of the profits from this art drop is just onboarding 20 incredible artists onto ApeChain. They get all of the ape from their sales. So like you're supporting some really cool OG artists, up and coming artists. So yeah, jump on there. If you haven't had an excuse to spend some ape, then just jump on there and get it done.
I missed the drop party. Did tonight that fellow have a
It is. Party? It's in a couple hours. It's at 10 p.m. EST. So
I need to jump. Yeah, definitely don't miss that and jump into the party. So next one will be John. And any things you find us out?
No, it's been awesome getting up here and chatting with you guys. Thanks so much for having me on the space. Looking forward to the Dead Fellas drop tonight.
Yes, and just support artists, and also finals. Anything final stuff from Gabby?
Guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today, and thanks, Guy, because you are really inspiring me every day, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you and to the people online tonight. And if you are a member of a community internal to the Bored Ape, please reach out, because we are releasing a unique customization feature only for you. And be ready, because the second phase of the Genesis drop is going to be live in a few days, and miss the opportunity. 69 pieces left. So looking forward to talk to you guys again super soon.
Awesome. Yeah, so thanks again today, all these people come join with us, and also we today hit the numbers 7,477. So it's great. And thank you so much. Don't miss the Deadfell drop, and keep following, continue to building, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.